This baby here, this is my everything notebook. This is my tried and true, beautiful system. So why did I buy a second notebook? The thing is, this got really heavy. I don't know if you remember my video where I first set up this notebook when it was brand new, but I weighed it at that point and it was 1.5 pounds. Not only that, but all of the inserts that I had in it were bending at the spine, and I had to kind of pull and finesse the cover every single time I closed this notebook. Frankly, it got annoying. Now, if I were living up to my minimalist aspirations, I would take a strong look at everything that I think that I need in this notebook and maybe get rid of some of it. But a few weeks ago, I found myself in a Traveler's Notebook partner store in Boulder, Colorado, and they had their display out there. So I bought this second Traveler's Notebook cover in the olive color. I will confess I'm not completely happy with this situation, but we'll get to that later. First, I want to tell you how I ended up splitting things up between these two books. I always had one calendar book where I kept track of when I posted on YouTube and Substack my content calendar. And I usually left that at home because it was just too much to fit into my everything notebook. I did not like that not having a cover. So I ended up adding it to this book, and then I also added my horizontal weekly planners. Previously, I only had the planner for the first 6 months of the year in my everything notebook, and we're at that awkward time of year right now where you kind of need both the first 6 months and the second 6 months for reference. So I'm able to have both of those calendars in here. My second Traveler's Notebook has become my planner, and my first Traveler's Notebook has become the everything notebook that I expected it to be. Except, of course, it's missing the calendar. Currently, back in my original Traveler's Notebook, I have 4 inserts. I have a plain notebook that I use for everything from taking notes to making to-do lists to writing down things that I want to read, ideas for future content, and interesting quotes. It also has my daily planner, which I use as more of a visual journal. I don't write appointments in this calendar. Instead, I keep note of the things that I like to track over time, like what I wear, meditations that I've done, my exercise, what I did during a day. And I put stickers in it, I decorate it as a log of my days that I can look back on. And then finally, I have my journal. This is not a visual journal, this is a written journal, and I mostly use it to work through issues. This is one of those therapist recommended practices that I find really helpful. And occasionally when I'm out or when I'm at home and I get a quiet moment, I will pull out my journal and just write about whatever might be bothering me or even just niggling at me in the moment. I told you that I would come back to my misgivings about this whole format. And I do have some. The first is that oftentimes if I'm going out for a meeting or someplace where I know I might have to access my calendar, I end up carrying both notebooks. That's not less weight in my bag, it's more weight. The second is just minimalism. I don't like being a person who has a collection of things. I want to have that one thing that's perfect, that works for everything. The third is just finding the perfect way to split my notebooks. Is it right to have my planner in one and everything else in the other? Should I be leaving my journal at home because I don't do that often when I'm out? Do I really need as many calendar notebooks as I have? Clearly, this much paper is not going to fit in one notebook. That's a given. So the question becomes, do I need this much paper? I know that I am not using every insert in my notebook to its fullest capability, but I am using every insert. I'm okay with the layout of these as they are right now for right now. I do like both of these notebooks. I don't regret giving the Traveler's Company or the partner shop to Hands Papery more of my money. But I do think that come the end of the year, I might reevaluate my system. It's not perfect yet. And I know that everything in life is not going to be perfect. And half the fun is being able to reevaluate your system once a year or once every 6 months and update it so that it continues to work for you. That's what I did this June that led me to buying a second notebook. That is what I will do again in December as we approach the new year in 2025. And for now, I'm just going to continue with this system. See if I like the way it's working out over a longer period of time. And I'm going to enjoy having 2 beautiful traveler's notebooks to work out of. I would love to know what inserts you keep in your notebook, whether you carry it or them around with you all the time. Do you have a notebook that you leave at home and a notebook that you take out? Do you have one that is just for work and one that's just for personal use? How do you use your notebooks? And it doesn't matter if it's a traveler's notebook or just other notebooks and planners that you find yourself using in your daily life. Someone help me figure out the best way to manage these. And until next time, I'm wishing you love and joy and all of those good things. And I can't wait to talk to you again. If you enjoyed this and want to see how my notebook was laid out before this past month, check out this one over here.